Good morning Year 7 and welcome to today's maths lesson. Let's start off with a quick starter. I'm going to ask you, what's 3/4 plus 1/4? What's 4/7 of 98? That's quite tricky. If you can't do it, don't worry, move on. And finally, can you write the following numbers in descending order? 0.17, 0, 4, 0.5 and 0.12. Look out for the commas. Okay, pause the video for a minute or two and in your light blue books have a go at these questions. Okay, so question 1, 3/4 plus 1/4. The denominators for these fractions are already the same. So we're just going to get 4/4, otherwise known as 1. 4/7 of 98 was pretty tricky. To work out 1/7 of 98, we should hopefully all be confident enough now to know that's just 98 divided by 7. And 98 divided by 7, you could do a quick bus stop. Why not? Do a quick bus stop. 7s into 9 go 1, remainder 2. 7s into 28 go 4. So I've got 14. So that's 1/7, but I want 4/7. So I need to do 14 multiplied by 4, which will give me 16. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 1 is 5, so 56. Don't worry if you didn't get that, we're going to do a lot of practice on that in future lessons. And finally, in descending order. What does descending mean, Ellen? From highest to lowest, brilliant. So my highest number is going to be 4. My second highest is 0.5. My third highest is 0.17. Then I've got 0.12. And finally, my littlest number is 0. Okay, so for today's lesson, we're going to carry on with fractions. First of all, how can I represent 1/3? How many blocks do I need altogether? How many parts do I need altogether for 1/3? Dan, how many parts do I need? 3. I need 3 blocks. Let's draw them in. 1, 2, 3. So here are my 3 blocks. If I want to represent 1/3 of them, I'm going to fill those in with white. If I want to represent 1/3 of them, how many do I need to shade, Sarah? 1. I just need to shade 1 of those. There it is, and I've made a third. 1/3 means 3 blocks altogether, and I need to shade 1 of them. Over to you. Can you please, in your light blue book, show me 1/6, please? Pause the video and do that now. Okay, let's go through the answers. 1/6 means we need how many blocks? Is it 3? No, we need 6 blocks this time. 1/3 was 3, so we need 6 this time. I'm going to copy and paste this block. There they are. 4, 5, 6. And if I've got 1/6, my numerator is 1, so once again, I just need to shade in 1 of those blocks. There it is. All the others stay empty. So that would have been 1/6. In your light blue books, 1/6 means how many blocks? And 5/6 means how many do we need to shade? Pause the video and draw that out for me now. Okay, Katie, if I want 5/6, how many blocks do I need? Cool, just like 1/6, we need 6 blocks. Here they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice that although I've changed the numerator to a 5, my total number of blocks is my denominator, which is still 6. So just like with 1/6, I need 6 blocks. However, what's different this time, Ione? Thanks. I need to shade 5 of them this time because I've got a 5 on the top. So if I empty them all first, I want to shade 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's my 5/6. So what do we call this top part of a fraction which tells us how many blocks we need to shade in? Jasper, what do we call it? The numerator. The numerator tells us how many blocks we need to shade in, and the what tells us how many parts we need, Freya, or how many blocks we need. The denominator. So the bottom one tells us how many blocks we need, and the top one tells us how many we need to shade in. So, in your dark blue books, can you put the title Shading Shapes? And underneath that, can you write, we can use this concept to shade in fractions of shapes, providing the parts are equal. Very important to have equal parts. Now, just as always, I'm going to do an example and then you're going to do an example. If I wanted to make 7/10, I'm going to need 10 lots of blocks, because that's my denominator. So I need to split my shape into 10 equal pieces. So if this rectangle was my whole shape, each of those is worth 1/10. However, I want to shade in 7/10 of this, so I'm going to shade in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those blocks. Cool. Over to you. Ooh. In your dark blue books, can you show me a shape, preferably a rectangle, and can you shade in 2/5 of that shape for me? Pause the video and do it now. Okay, let's go through the answer. So if I've got 2/5, I need a shape which is going to be made up of 5 equal parts. 1, your shape might look slightly different, that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get rid of that. So I've got a shape that's made up of 5 equal parts. This time I've got 2/5, so I need to shade in 2 of those parts. So this diagram shows me shading in 2/5 of this shape. Okay, in your light blue books, can you copy down the following shapes and can you shade in the fraction that I've indicated? For the first one I want 1/2, the second one I want 2/3, the third one I want 3/8, etc, etc. Pause the video for 5 minutes and do that now in your light blue books. Okay, these are the answers. Please check how you did. Notice that all the shapes are split into equal parts, but those equal parts can be any shape that they like within the shape. As long as they're equal, it still works. Okay, pause the video and have a think. If this means 1, then this shape is representative of what? Pause the video for a minute and have a think. Okay, so this whole shape here is 9 filled in. This shape has got 7 filled in. So there's 9 equal parts. I've shaded in 7. So this is going to represent 7/9. Okay, but sometimes when we're shading a shape, it's not going to be divided into the number of parts shown by the denominator. And we need to work out how many we need to combine or split to give the denominator. Essentially, we've got a shape with loads of parts in it. I want to shade 3/4 of it. So the best thing I can do is split it into a set of 4 equal parts. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 squares altogether. If I split that into 4 sets of 3 squares, like so, I can now shade in 3/4 of the shape. 1, 2, and 3. In your light blue books, can you look at the same shape and can you shade 2/3 of this shape for me? Remember to split it up into 3 equal parts to start with. Pause the video and in your light blue books, please complete that now. Okay, let's go through it. This time I've got 12 blocks altogether, so to split it into 3 parts, I need 4 blocks in each of those parts. Doesn't matter what shape those parts are. And if I want to shade in 2/3, I want to shade in this one. There's 1/3. And shading in this bit will give me 2/3. Yours might look slightly different, but as long as you've got 8 squares shaded in, that would be 2/3. Okay, in your light blue books, can you please copy out the following diagrams and shade in the relevant fractions shown? Pause the video and complete that now. This should take about 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, these are the answers you should have got. You should have split this first one into 3 sections. 3 sections and shaded in 1 section. The second one was already in 4, so you just need to shade in 1 section of that. This one we split it in 2 and shade half. This one was 7/8, 3/5 and 1/4 we shaded by splitting it into 4. Okay, can you please now pause the video for 5 minutes and copy these out and complete them in your light blue book? Can you shade 1/6 of this shape, 5/6 of this shape, 2/5 of this shape and 3/7 of this shape? Remembering to split the shape into the denominator number of parts to start with. Pause the video and complete that now. If you find this really easy, have a go at my extension questions on the bottom. This should take about 5 to 10 minutes. And here are my answers. Please check how you did, mark your work and see where you may have gone wrong. Okay, so we can link this to finding equivalent fractions. For example, if I've got this shape here, what fraction have I shaded in of this shape, KJ? Lovely, 1/2. What fraction of this shape have I shaded in, Angel? 6/12. But they're exactly the same area that's been shaded in, so we know that 6/12 and 1/2 must be the same. And these are equivalent fractions, something we've practiced in the past. In your light blue books, can you now have a go at the next 3 for me? What are those fractions and how are they equivalent? Pause the video and spend 3 minutes on that now. Okay, so the fractions we should have got, this first one was a 1/6, which is the same as 2/12. This one was a 1/3, which is the same as 4/12. And this one should have been 3/4, because I've shaded in 3 parts, but there's 4 parts altogether. And this is the same as 9/12. Okay, pause the video for a minute and answer this question for me. How many parts need to be shaded to make the fractions equivalent? Is it A, is it B, is it C, or is it D? Pause the video and have a think. Okay, the answer I was looking for is 8. To make these fractions equivalent, I need to shade in 8 of those boxes. Pause the video for a minute and have a think about this question. Which image shows you a half? Okay, let's go through it. The one that shows a half is in fact A. C is still split into 2 parts, but those parts are not equal, so that's not a half. D has got 2/3 shaded in, not a half. And B, I've shaded in 3 out of 6, but those parts again aren't equal, so that doesn't show a half. Pause the video and have a think about this question. Which image is equivalent to 2/5? Okay, let's go through the answers. This one has got 1, 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2/7. That's not equivalent to 2/5. This one's got 4 out of 10, which is the same as 2/5. So the answer I was looking for is B. Pause the video and have a think about this one. Which equivalent fraction is shown? Okay, the answer I was looking for is B. Because of the first one, I've shaded 8 out of 8, and the second one, I've shaded 2 out of 2 parts. Let's recap equivalent fractions. I can generate equivalent fractions by multiplying the numerator and the denominator by the same number. Ione, I know you're very good at these. If I've got 5/6, give me something to multiply top and bottom by, Ione. I'm going to assume you said something crazy like 100. So this is equivalent to 500 over 600. Your turn. 60 seconds. How many equivalent fractions can you make equivalent to 3/7? Pause the video, 60 seconds, off you go. Okay, so you could have had 6/14. You could have had 9 over 21. You could have had 3,000 over 7,000. All of these would be valid answers as long as you're multiplying the top and bottom by the same number. Can you now, in your light blue books, pause the video for 5 minutes and tell me which answer is correct? 2/3 is equivalent to 4/9 or 4/6. 2/6 is equivalent to 4/12 or 16/36. Pause the video and have a go at those now for me, please. And here are the answers I was looking for. I was looking for 4/6, 4/12, 18/24, 2/9, and 2/1. And finally, for the last part of the lesson, please can you have a go at these 3 exam questions. The first one asks, how much of each shape is shaded? Tick the correct box. Is this a half? Is it less than a half, or is it more than a half? Is this one less than a half, exactly a half, or more than a half? And for question 2, what fraction of the grid is shaded? Remember to give your answer in its simplest form. Pause the video for a couple of minutes and have a go at that now, please. Okay, the answers I was looking for. This one I've shaded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of 18, so that's going to be less than a half. This one is more than a half if I take that and put it together here. If I get rid of that, I've then got a half plus an extra little triangle, so that's going to be more than a half. And the last one is 1/5. Fantastic. Can you now finish the lesson and have a go at the exit ticket I have posted in Google Classroom? Thanks very much, Year 7, and best of luck.